Hello, today we are looking into what our computer does when we have written our program in our language. And I've made something in Paint and let's look into it. First we have our programming language that we want to write our code in. And after that it has to be always compiled because our programming language is only readable by humans and not by the computer. And for this we compile it down into an assembly language. And now we have a code that our processor can actually read. And you might think, the assembly language is not in zeros and ones. But yeah, the processor can read the assembly language because the assembly language is based on the architecture of the processor. But that also means that not all processors can read all the assembly languages. For each processor type, it has a separate assembly language, or if they are built the same, it can run the same assembly language. But for most of the processors, especially for Intel processors, they are made for the x86 assembly language, and a lot of the smartphones have the ARM assembly language because they have different processors built in it. And with that, we can finally run our program and we send them to our operating system. For example, Windows, Apple, Android or Linux, and it distributes everything he has to do in the RAM, in the GPU, the graphics card, or the hardware that is installed somewhere in your computer. Or it also manages the mouse and keyboard inputs. We could go so much more into the system of an operating system, but it would break our scale of the video, so we continue. Now we go on to our GUI, the graphical user interface. That is basically the system that makes that we can actually have a picture on our monitor. And with that we can work with the backend program that we have written, that we can actually click somewhere and it does what we want. And with that we can create some softwares and also our IDE, our integrated development environment, our software to program new code. And up here we also have our APIs. Those are made that we can actually process a graphical or a highly graphical application that can process our games that we want to play, because they have a lot of data that has to be processed, and with those APIs it's much easier to process that. And we also use it for sounds, that we can process that and output them. And there are many more APIs out there that are running many more different individual processes. And now we go back down here to our integrated development environment. Here we write our code that we want, for example in Python or Java or C++ or whatever. And then we store this program in our memory. And our program only influences other memory in our system, but the program always remains the same. And for this process that will happen, we go up here and we go through our whole process that I explained. We compile it, we have our assembly language, then it can be read by our processor. After that it goes into our operating system, will be distributed in our hardware, our RAM, GPU and everything, and then it will run again in our graphical user interface what we want to open, and we can actually run our program. And that's how all works. And that's all for today's video. I hope you learned something or enjoyed watching it, and with that I say bye.